Tom moved carefully through the remains of the colony. His boots pressed against dust and broken stone, leaving faint prints that vanished in the drifting air. The colony had been abandoned for years, maybe decades, and silence ruled every corner. He switched on the light mounted on his helmet, sending a pale beam across cracked walls and fallen metal beams. Tom was not a soldier. He was an explorer, trained to search for records, lost technology, or forgotten resources. The Earth government had sent him here with a simple mission: find out what happened to the old colony and bring back any information. But when he arrived, the outpost was nothing but ruins. No human bodies, no signs of life, only shadows and whispers of a past long gone. His scanner beeped faintly. Strange energy readings pulsed from deep inside the mountain caverns near the settlement. The signals did not match normal machines or natural formations. Something was active, something old, and possibly dangerous. Tom adjusted the strap of his pack and moved forward. He felt uneasy. The moon was silent, yet he felt watched. Each step echoed too loudly, as if the ruins themselves did not welcome his presence. He reached a collapsed archway that opened into a tunnel. The scanner blinked faster, pointing straight into the dark. Tom tightened his grip on the flashlight and stepped inside. The cavern walls were smooth, as though shaped not by tools but by something alive. Strange markings ran across the stone, lines that glowed faint red as he passed. They looked like writing, though not in any human language. The air grew colder, and Tom's breath misted inside his helmet. He muttered to himself, just data, just readings, then out. Talking kept the silence from pressing too hard on his mind. As he moved deeper, the sense of being followed grew stronger. He spun his light across the cavern, half expecting to see a shadow darting away. But nothing moved. Only the glow of the markings seemed to shift, as if reacting to him. The scanner suddenly let out a sharp tone. The energy spike was close, very close. Tom raised his light, and that was when he saw her. At first, he thought it was a trick of the shadows. A tall figure stood at the far end of the chamber, pale skin shining faintly against the dark rock. Long black hair fell over her shoulders. Her eyes glowed a deep, steady red, and folded against her back were wings, dark and sharp, like blades of shadow. Tom froze. His heart pounded. The figure stepped forward with smooth grace, her feet barely making a sound on the stone floor. She stopped a short distance from him, tilting her head slightly, as if studying a strange creature. "You should not be here," she said. Her voice was low, steady, carrying both warning and curiosity. Tom swallowed hard. "I'm here for information. This place belonged to humans once." "Who are you?" The woman's lips curved into the faintest smile. "I am Vera. Last of those who once lived in this place." Her words carried weight. Last. That meant the rest of her kind was gone. Tom lowered his light slightly, though his hand remained tense. "You're not human," he said cautiously. "No," Vera replied. She extended a hand, palm facing upward, revealing faint lines of glowing red beneath her skin. "I am of the vampire-born. My people ruled the dark moons long before your kind stepped beyond Earth. But now, I remain alone." Tom hesitated. Vampire-born. The word carried stories, myths, warnings told by early space settlers. Pale beings who lived on blood, who feared the sun, who thrived in the shadows of forgotten worlds. Most thought they were legends. Yet here she was, standing in front of him, breathing, speaking. "What do you want from me?" Tom asked. Vera's eyes narrowed slightly. The same as you, perhaps. Survival. But more than that, a warning. Your people dig into places they do not understand. In doing so, they awaken things best left buried. Tom shook his head. I came here for records, not trouble. Trouble found you, Vera replied, her voice like cold silk. A low growl echoed through the chamber. Tom turned sharply, aiming his light toward the sound. Shapes shifted at the edges of the cavern, creatures, hunched and twisted, crawling on too many limbs. Their eyes gleamed faint yellow, and their teeth glistened in the dim red glow. Vera's wings unfolded slowly, spreading wide. Her eyes flared brighter, and for the first time, Tom felt the sheer weight of her presence. She was powerful, dangerous, yet strangely calm. They are the beasts of the deep, she said. Leftovers of the wars my kind once fought. They smell human blood. They will not let you leave alive. Tom's instincts screamed at him to run, but the tunnel behind him was already closing as the creatures crawled forward. He drew his pulse blade, its blue light humming softly. His training told him to stand ground, but fear clawed at his chest. Vera glanced at him, her expression unreadable. You will not survive this alone. Stand with me, human, or die here. For a brief second, Tom wondered if trusting her was madness. But the beasts were too many, and he had no choice. He gave a quick nod. Vera stepped forward, her wings sweeping back. She moved faster than Tom's eyes could follow, striking at the first creature with a blur of claws and steel-like strength. Her motions were both terrifying and graceful, each strike precise, each movement flowing like a dance of death. Tom forced himself to focus. A beast lunged at him, and he swung his blade, cutting through its chest. The smell of burned flesh filled the air. Another rushed from the side, and he blocked with his arm shield, countering with a stab that sent the creature crashing to the floor. Side by side, human and alien fought. Tom's breaths came fast, his muscles straining, but he refused to fall. Vera's red eyes glowed brighter with each strike, her power growing as if fueled by the battle itself. At last, the chamber grew still. The last beast fell with a hiss, curling into smoke and ash. Tom lowered his blade, chest heaving, sweat dripping inside his suit. Vera folded her wings again, her face calm though her eyes still burned. She looked at him as if weighing his soul. You fought well, she said softly. Tom let out a shaky breath. I didn't have much choice. Few would have stood at all, Vera replied. She stepped closer, and Tom felt both a chill and a strange pull toward her. You are different, human. Stronger than most I have seen. Tom tightened his grip on his weapon. What do you want from me? Vera paused. Her gaze softened, though only slightly. To live. To remember. And perhaps, to not be alone. Her words lingered in the air like a shadow that would not fade. Tom realized his mission had changed. He had not just found ruins or records. He had found something living, something dangerous, something that might change his future forever. And as he looked into Vera's glowing eyes, he felt a weight settle in his chest, a sense that he had just stepped into a story larger than himself. Tom sat against the cavern wall, trying to steady his breath. His arms ached from the fight, and sweat rolled down his face inside the helmet. The blue glow of his pulse blade had faded, leaving only the dim red lines on the walls for light. Vera stood nearby, calm as if the battle had not touched her. She folded her wings close, the dark shapes melting back against her body. Her red eyes glowed faintly, softer now but still unsettling. You fought with courage, she said. Humans often run when faced with the deep beasts. You did not. Tom wiped his forehead with the back of his glove. Running wasn't an option. They blocked the way out. Many would still have tried, Vera replied, tilting her head. You stood. Tom gave a tired laugh. Maybe I'm just too stubborn to die. Her lips curved, not quite into a smile, but something close. Stubbornness is a kind of strength. For a long moment, silence filled the chamber. The bodies of the beasts were already turning to ash, carried away by faint currents in the air. The ruins felt less like stone and more like a tomb filled with restless spirits. Tom's scanner beeped weakly, reminding him of his mission. He looked at the device, then at Vera. These readings led me here. Energy spikes, strange signals. Was it you? Yes, Vera said without hesitation. My kind left behind many engines and cores. Some still breathe power into the stone. But the pulse you followed was mine. I called without knowing. I did not think a human would answer. Tom studied her carefully. She looked both fragile and dangerous, like glass filled with fire. Why are you still here if your people are gone? Her eyes dimmed. Because I was left behind. When the wars ended and my kind fell, I was sealed in these ruins. Sleep claimed me until the touch of human life stirred me awake. I have wandered since, alone. Her words carried no tears, but the weight of centuries hung behind them. Tom felt uneasy. Part of him wanted to pity her, another part whispered caution. I should report this, he said quietly. Earth needs to know what's here. Vera stepped closer, and Tom tensed. If you tell them, they will come with fire and fear. They will bury this place deeper. And me with it? Is that what you want? Tom looked away. I don't know what I want. I just came here to do a job. You came here searching for the past, Vera said softly. Now the past stands before you. He met her gaze again, and something shifted inside him. Her eyes no longer looked like danger alone. There was loneliness there, sharp as a blade. Before he could reply, a sound echoed from the tunnel. More beasts, or something else. Tom raised his blade, but his muscles trembled with exhaustion. Vera moved swiftly, faster than thought. She knelt in front of him, her eyes glowing bright. You cannot fight like this. Your body is weak. Let me share strength with you. Tom shook his head. Share? What does that mean? Her voice lowered, smooth and steady. My kind live by essence. Blood is life, and through it we bond. If I take from you, I also give. You will feel my strength. You will not fall. His chest tightened. Every story about her kind rushed into his mind, tales of blood drinkers, monsters, hunters of men. You want to bite me. I want to keep you alive, she said firmly. Without it, you will not last another battle. Tom gritted his teeth. The idea filled him with fear. Yet the truth pressed against him. He was too weak, too drained. More enemies were coming. He had no time to argue with fate. Do it, he said at last. His voice was low, but steady. Vera leaned closer, and Tom's pulse raced. Her breath was cool against his neck. Then he felt a sharp sting, followed by warmth spreading through his veins. He gasped, expecting pain, but instead a strange rush filled him, strength, clarity, fire in his blood. His heart beat faster, his vision sharpened, and his muscles no longer trembled. When Vera pulled back, her eyes glowed like twin suns in the dark. A faint red traced across her lips, but she wiped it away with her hand. "Now," she whispered, "you are bound." Tom touched his neck, feeling no wound, only heat under the skin. What did you do to me?" "I linked us," she said simply. "Your blood carries my life now, and mine carries yours. If you fall, I feel it. If I bleed, you sense it. Together, we are more than alone." Tom stared at her, stunned. "You tied me to you without asking if I wanted that." "You gave permission," Vera answered calmly. "And choice was never truly yours. Not if you wanted to live." Anger flared inside him, but so did something else. He felt her presence now, faint but real, like a heartbeat not his own. It was strange, frightening, yet not entirely unwelcome. Before he could argue further, the cavern shook. Stones fell from the ceiling, and a deeper roar rose from the tunnels. The air grew heavy, carrying the stench of ash and death. Vera spread her wings again, her eyes fixed on the dark ahead. "They come in greater numbers. But you will not fear." "Not now." Tom gripped his blade. She was right, fear had less power over him. His body felt alive, ready. He nodded once. "Then let's finish this." The beasts poured in, more than before. Claws scraped against stone, and their eyes glowed in the shadows. But Tom no longer felt outmatched. He moved with speed he had never known, his strikes precise, his strength greater than it should have been. Every motion flowed as if guided by something beyond him. Vera fought beside him, her claws and wings cutting through the creatures like steel through cloth. Together, they were a storm, tearing through the horde with unrelenting force. When the last beast fell, the cavern floor was littered with ash. Tom lowered his blade slowly, his breath steady this time. He looked at his hands, stunned by what he had just done. Vera stood near him, her eyes softer now, her voice quiet. "Do you see? This is what it means to share essence. Alone, you are strong. With me, you are greater." Tom shook his head. "You didn't just give me strength. You changed me." "Yes," Vera said. She stepped closer, studying his face. "And such bonds are rare. Among my kind, they are not just survival. They are union. A joining deeper than flesh." Her words struck him harder than the battle. Union. The idea made his stomach twist. "I didn't ask for that," Tom said sharply. "No," Vera agreed. "But fate rarely asks. It gives, it takes, and it binds. You will understand in time." Tom turned away, staring into the dark tunnels. He wanted to deny her, to cut the bond somehow. Yet the truth was in his blood, burning and undeniable. He felt her presence even now, a steady echo in his chest. "Come," Vera said. "We cannot stay here. The deeper halls will be safer. And there is more you must learn." Reluctantly, Tom followed. The cavern stretched on, lined with more glowing symbols that pulsed faintly as they passed. He felt strange, caught between anger and awe. His mission had changed in ways he could not control. And though he wanted to hate the bond, part of him whispered that maybe he needed it. The tunnels stretched on for hours, winding deeper into the mountain. Tom walked behind Vera, his blade still in hand though dim to a faint glow. He tried to steady his thoughts, but his mind refused to quiet. Every step reminded him of the strange fire in his blood, the link between them that he could not escape. He glanced at Vera's back. Her wings folded neatly against her body now, yet their sharp outlines still made him uneasy. She moved like someone who had walked these halls for centuries, each turn familiar, each stone a memory. Finally, the tunnel opened into a vast chamber. The ceiling arched high, and great pillars of black stone rose like trees. Faint red crystals glimmered along the walls, casting a soft glow. At the center stood a broken throne, carved from the same black stone, worn by time and dust. Vera stopped in front of it and turned. This was the heart of my people's home. The seat of their council. It is empty now, as you can see. Tom's eyes swept the chamber. He had expected ruins, but this place felt alive in a way the outer colony had not. The air pulsed faintly, as if the stones still remembered voices long gone. You lived here? Tom asked quietly. Yes, Vera said. Her voice carried both pride and sorrow. I was born within these walls, raised under their shadow. I watched my kind fall, one by one, until I remained alone. Tom felt a heaviness in her words. For all her strength, there was loneliness that even centuries could not erase. He wanted to say something, but the right words would not come. Instead, he asked, why tell me all this? Why not just let me leave? Because you cannot leave, Vera said firmly. Not now. Tom frowned. What do you mean? She stepped closer, her red eyes locking on his. Do you feel it? The bond in your blood. The strength that was not yours before. That is not a passing gift. It is a root that has taken hold. Tom clenched his fists. I didn't ask for this bond. You forced it? I offered it, and you accepted, she said. Her voice remained calm, though sharper now. But you must understand what it means. This link is not just survival. Among my kind, such bonds are sacred. They are rare. They are, union. The word hung heavy between them. Tom felt his chest tighten. Union? You mean marriage? In your tongue, yes, Vera said slowly. But it is deeper. It is life joined to life, soul joined to soul. It cannot be broken. Tom shook his head. That's not fair. I didn't choose this. Vera's expression softened, though her eyes stayed firm. Fate chose. And it has already gone further than you realize. Tom frowned. What do you mean? She held his gaze, then placed a hand lightly against her stomach. Your blood awakened something in me. My kind could not create life for centuries. Our blood had grown cold. But yours carried the spark we lost. And now, she paused, as if the words weighed more than stone. I carry a child. Your child. The chamber fell silent. Tom's breath caught in his chest. He stared at her, waiting for her to laugh, to say it was a trick. But she did not. Her face was steady, her voice calm, her eyes unblinking. That's impossible, he said, his voice hoarse. You're not even human. That can't happen. It has happened, Vera said. I know my body. I feel the new life within me. It is small, but strong. It is both mine and yours. Tom staggered back, his mind spinning. He pressed a hand to his forehead, trying to process the words. No. I didn't. I never, you gave blood, Vera said gently. Essence is life. In binding us, you gave more than strength. You gave creation. Tom's chest tightened with panic. You're saying I got you pregnant? That doesn't make sense. We barely met. I never. Her voice cut softly through his protest. Among my kind, it does not require what humans think it does. It is not flesh meeting flesh. It is essence. Two lines crossing. And now they have crossed. Tom turned away, pacing across the chamber. His thoughts crashed like waves against stone. This was not part of his mission. This was not supposed to happen. He came for records, not for this. He spun back toward her. And what does that mean for me? What happens now? Vera's wings shifted slightly, folding tighter. Among my people, such a bond carries only one path. Union. A life together. The child cannot be raised by one alone. It must be protected. You must stand with me. Tom's anger flared. So I don't get a choice? You're just telling me I have to marry you now. Her eyes narrowed faintly, though her tone stayed calm. Choice is an illusion, human. The bond is already made. The child is already growing. You can deny it, but denial will not change truth. Tom felt trapped. His whole life had been about choices: leaving Earth, choosing to explore, deciding to take this mission. And now, suddenly, fate had closed its fist around him. He sat on a broken stone near the throne, burying his face in his hands. This isn't real, he muttered. This can't be real. Vera watched him silently for a long time. Finally, she stepped closer, her voice softer. I know this is heavy for you. I did not expect it either. But the child is hope. For my people, for your kind. It is something new, something neither side has seen before. Tom lifted his head, meeting her gaze. Hope for who? Earth won't see it that way. They'll see you as a threat. They'll see the child as something to fear. Then they must not know, Vera said. Her voice carried quiet strength. Not yet. Not until the child is safe. Tom shook his head. You want me to keep this secret? I want you to protect what you helped create, she replied. Is that too much to ask? His heart pounded. He wanted to scream, to run, to deny all of it. But he could not escape the bond. He felt it even now, pulsing through his blood, tying him to her. And deeper still, some faint whisper told him she was telling the truth. He stood slowly, his hands trembling. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I want this. Vera looked at him, her eyes no longer sharp but heavy with something else: vulnerability. I do not ask for love. Not yet. Only that you stay. That you do not leave me alone. For the child. For us. Tom stared at her. He saw not just the alien vampire who had bound him, but a woman who had lost her people, who carried a future she never thought possible. The weight pressed hard against him. But beneath it, a small flame sparked responsibility. He had not chosen this, but it was his now. Before he could answer, the chamber shook violently. Dust rained from the ceiling, and the red crystals flared brighter. A roar echoed from the tunnels, deeper and louder than before. Vera's wings snapped open, her eyes blazing red. They know, she said sharply. The scavengers. The rival clans. They sense the child already. They come to claim it. Tom tightened his grip on his blade, his fear mixing with anger. Then they'll have to get through me first. For the first time, Vera's lips curved into a true smile, small but real. Perhaps you are not so stubborn after all. The roar grew louder, and shadows moved in the distance. Tom stood beside her, ready though uncertain. The bond pulsed stronger, urging him forward. Whatever came next, he could no longer pretend he was only an explorer. He was something more now, tied to her, tied to the unborn life between them, tied to a future he had never imagined. And as the enemies closed in, Tom realized he had a choice after all. Not whether to run, but whether to stand. He lifted his blade. Let's finish this together. The chamber shook again, dust falling from the high ceiling as the distant roars grew louder. Tom tightened his grip on his blade, his body tense. The fire in his blood, the bond with Vera, burned hotter, urging him to fight. Beside him, Vera spread her wings, her eyes glowing like burning coals. She looked toward the tunnels, her face sharp and steady. They come, she said softly. More than beasts this time. I can feel minds among them. The scavenger clans. They must have watched you arrive on this moon. They waited for the right moment to strike. Tom turned to her quickly. Scavenger clans. What do they want? They want me, Vera said, her voice hard. And now, they will want what grows inside me. To them, the child is power. A new bloodline. A chance to control what they have feared for centuries. Tom's chest tightened. Then we can't let them near you. Her gaze flicked toward him. You speak as if you are already sworn to protect me. Tom hesitated, anger flaring. Don't twist my words. I'm not your soldier. And I'm not your husband. You dragged me into this bond without giving me a real choice. Vera studied him, her expression unreadable. Do you think I wanted this? That I wished to tie myself to a stranger from another world? I did not. But fate bound us. The child exists because of it. And whether you wish it or not, you are part of this now. Tom's jaw tightened. He wanted to deny her, to shout that he wanted his old life back. But the truth pressed against him like a weight he could not shake. His blood still burned with her presence. And deep down, he knew she was right. The roar grew closer, echoing through the tunnels. Shadows flickered at the far end of the chamber. Shapes moved, tall, lean figures in jagged armor, carrying spears of dark metal and rifles that glowed faintly. Their faces were hidden by masks, but their yellow eyes shone through. The scavenger clan had arrived. Vera stepped forward, wings raised, her voice cutting through the air. This ground is not yours. Leave it, or be buried in it. The scavengers laughed, their voices harsh and sharp. One of them raised his spear. The last vampire-born speaks. But she is weak, alone, and carrying a prize she cannot protect. We will take it from her. We will drink her blood and claim her power. Tom felt anger surge. He stepped up beside Vera, blade ignited, its blue glow lighting the dust-filled air. You'll have to go through me first. The scavengers hissed in unison, and the fight began. They charged forward, spears and blades clashing against stone. Vera launched herself into the air, her wings carrying her above the crowd. She dove like a shadow, striking one scavenger down with her claws. Tom swung his blade against another, sparks flying as metal met energy. The bond burned in him, guiding his movements. He moved faster, struck harder, his reflexes sharper than ever before. He fought not just with his own strength but with the echo of hers. Every time his blade cut, he felt her wings beat in his chest. Still, there were too many. The scavengers pressed closer, their weapons cutting the air. One of them slammed Tom against a pillar, his blade nearly knocked from his hands. He gritted his teeth, pushing back with all his strength. The bond flared, and with a shout, he drove his blade through the scavenger's chest. Vera landed beside him, her wings wrapping around them like a shield as another volley of spears clattered against stone. "You see," she said fiercely. "Alone, you would have fallen. Together, we endure." Tom glared at her. "Don't use this fight to prove your point." But even as he said it, he knew she was right. The scavengers regrouped, circling, their leader stepping forward. His armor was heavier, his mask marked with red symbols. He raised a long spear, its tip glowing with sickly green energy. "You cannot win," the leader growled. "You are two against many. Give us the woman, and we will let the human live." Tom felt his blood boil. He tightened his grip on the blade. "Not happening." The leader's eyes narrowed behind his mask. "Then you will die together." He lunged, faster than the others, his spear thrusting forward. Tom raised his blade, blocking the strike, but the green energy sent a shock through his body. He staggered, pain burning his arms. Vera moved in an instant, slashing at the leader with her claws. He dodged, his spear cutting across her side. She hissed, blood spilling, and Tom felt the pain flare inside his own chest through the bond. He gasped, clutching his ribs, even though the wound was not his. "Vera," he shouted, "we're linked. If you fall, I feel it. You can't just throw yourself at him." Her eyes blazed red. "Then stand with me, Tom. Or we both fall." Something inside him snapped. He surged forward, his blade swinging with renewed fury. The bond flared, their strengths weaving together. Tom struck high, Vera struck low, their movements flowing as one. The leader stumbled under their combined assault, his spear shattering against stone. With one final strike, Tom drove his blade through the leader's chest, and Vera's claws tore through his mask. The leader fell, his body crumbling into ash. The remaining scavengers hissed in fear, their courage broken. They fled into the tunnels, their shadows vanishing into the dark. The chamber grew silent once more, save for Tom's heavy breathing. He lowered his blade, his hands trembling. His body ached, but he still stood. Vera pressed a hand against her side, blood glistening between her fingers. Tom rushed to her, his anger forgotten for the moment. "You're hurt." She gave a faint smile. "So are you. You just do not see it." He looked down and realized she was right. Small cuts and bruises lined his arms and chest, though he had not felt them in the heat of battle. The bond had numbed him, carried him, but it could not erase wounds. Tom tore a strip of cloth from his pack and pressed it against her side. "Hold still." Vera watched him quietly as he worked. "You care, even if you fight against it." Tom's jaw tightened. "Don't read too much into it. I don't want you dead, that's all." Her eyes softened. "You can deny with words, but your actions speak louder." He didn't answer. He finished tying the cloth, then sat back, his breath heavy. The silence stretched between them. Finally, Tom spoke. "I still don't accept this. The bond. The child. The marriage you talk about. I never asked for this, Vera. I never wanted it." Her gaze lowered, and for the first time, he saw her look uncertain. Her voice was quiet, almost fragile. "And do you think I dreamed of binding myself to a human wanderer? I lost everything, Tom. My people, my home, my future. I never thought life would stir again in me. But it has. And you are part of it. I cannot change that. Neither can you. Tom rubbed his face with both hands, frustration boiling inside him. So what? I'm supposed to give up my life and just accept this because fate decided? You are supposed to decide whether you will run from it or stand with it, Vera said firmly. She stepped closer, her eyes glowing faintly. You are human. Your kind are stubborn, brave, and foolish. But I have seen something in you I did not expect. You do not quit. That is why we survived tonight. Tom met her gaze, anger and confusion swirling in him. He wanted to hate her, but he couldn't. Not after fighting side by side. Not after feeling her pain in his chest. Not after seeing the flicker of fear in her eyes when she spoke of being alone. He stood slowly, his blade hanging at his side. I don't know if I can accept being tied to you. I don't know if I can accept the child. But I do know this: I'm not running. Not yet. For the first time, Vera's expression softened into something more than a faint smile. Relief. Then that is enough, for now. They stood together in the ruined chamber, the silence heavy but no longer empty. The battle had changed them both. And though Tom still resisted the bond, deep down he knew the fight ahead would not be against scavengers alone. The real battle was inside him. The bond had tied him to Vera, to her unborn child, to a future he could neither control nor escape. And the question that haunted him now was not whether he could survive it, but whether he could accept it. The chamber was quiet after the battle, but Tom and Vera both knew peace would not last. The scavenger clans had fled, yet more enemies would come. The fight had drawn attention, and in the silence Tom could almost feel the weight of eyes watching from afar. He stood at the edge of the broken chamber, staring out through the cracks in the stone wall. Beyond, the alien sky stretched wide, painted with two moons and streaks of violet clouds. He should have felt awe at the view, but instead he felt only the heavy knot inside his chest. Vera leaned against a pillar, her dark wings folded tight around her. The cloth Tom had tied around her wound was soaked, but she refused to rest. Her red eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. You are still thinking of leaving, she said quietly. Tom turned toward her, frowning. You make it sound simple. Like I can just walk away. But I can't, can I? Not with this bond. Not with everything tied to me now. Her gaze stayed steady. You could run. Many have. But the bond would follow you. The child would remain. And your blood would still burn with mine. There is no escape, Tom. Only choice. Tom clenched his fists. He hated how calm she sounded, how certain she seemed. He had fought scavengers, stared death in the face, and still felt less afraid than he did of the truth in her words. A deep rumble echoed from the tunnels again, softer this time, almost like a warning. Tom raised his blade, but Vera shook her head. Not the scavengers, she said. Something else. Greater. The ancient guardians of this moon. They stir when blood is spilled. They will come to test us. Tom felt a chill crawl through him. Guardians. She nodded slowly. Long ago, when my people ruled the stars, the guardians were placed here to keep balance. They were not meant to wake again, but we have disturbed them. If they judge us unworthy, they will destroy us both. Tom cursed under his breath. So we fight again. Vera's lips curved in the faintest smile. Not with blade alone. The guardians test more than strength. They test unity. They test the bond itself. Tom's chest tightened. He remembered the way their blood had burned together during the last battle, how her pain had echoed in him. He wasn't sure if he could endure more of it. The ground trembled. Dust fell from the ceiling. A sound like thunder rolled through the chamber. Then the wall cracked wide, and light poured in. From the broken stone stepped a figure of towering size, its body made of crystal and metal, its eyes blazing with golden fire. The guardian's steps shook the floor as it entered, its voice deep and echoing like a storm. "You carry a bond forbidden," the guardian spoke. "Blood of human and blood of vampire entwined. Such union brings either doom or rebirth. Prove your worth, or be erased." Tom raised his blade instinctively, but Vera placed a hand on his arm. "Wait. It is not only a fight of weapons. It is a fight of truth." The guardian raised its arm, and a circle of light spread across the ground. Energy surged, pulling Tom and Vera inside. The chamber faded away, replaced by a vast plain of stars. Tom staggered, looking around. The ground beneath his feet was solid, but it shone like glass. Above, endless galaxies spun. Vera stood beside him, her wings glowing faintly in the starlight. "We are in the trial," she said softly. The guardian's voice boomed across the sky. "Human, do you accept the bond that ties you? Speak your truth. Vampire, do you accept the weakness you have gained? Speak your truth. Only honesty will shape your path." Tom's throat tightened. He had fought beasts, scavengers, even his own fear. But this felt harder. The guardian's golden gaze turned toward him. "Human. Speak." Tom swallowed, his voice rough. "I never wanted this. I never wanted to be tied to someone I barely know, someone who forced this bond on me. I hate that my life was taken from me. I hate that I had no choice." The guardian's eyes blazed brighter. "And yet you stay. Why?" Tom closed his eyes, breathing hard. He saw flashes of the battles, of Vera's wings shielding him, of her blood on his hands as he tied her wound, of the way she had spoken of being alone. Slowly, he opened his eyes again. "Because even if I hate it, I can't abandon her. Not after what we faced. Not after what I felt. She's strong, but she's also alone. And I can't let her carry that alone anymore. So no, I don't accept this bond because fate forced it. I accept it because I choose to. I choose to stand with her." The guardian's gaze shifted to Vera. "Vampire. Speak." Her eyes burned red in the starlight. She stood tall, her voice steady. "I was the last of my kind. I thought my bloodline ended with me. When the bond took root, I wanted to fight it. I wanted to push him away. But in him I found more than I expected. His courage, his anger, his refusal to quit. It gave me strength when mine faltered. He sees me not as a queen or a weapon, but as a person. That is weakness, yes. But it is also life. I accept it." The guardian lifted both arms. The stars swirled around them, forming a storm of light. The ground shook beneath their feet. Tom reached out without thinking, and Vera's hand found his. Their blood flared hot, the bond blazing like fire. The guardian's voice roared. "Then you are tested. Show your unity. Face the shadow of your doubt." The starlit plain darkened. From the storm stepped a monstrous shape, taller than the guardian itself. It was made of shifting shadows, its eyes red, its teeth like blades. It roared, and the sound shook Tom's bones. He raised his blade, heart pounding. Vera spread her wings, her claws shining with light. Together, she said firmly. They charged as one. The shadow struck, its massive claw slamming down, but Tom rolled aside, his blade slicing across the beast's arm. Vera dove from above, her wings cutting like steel, her strike glowing with fire. The shadow howled, swinging wildly. Tom felt the bond surge in his veins, guiding his steps. He and Vera moved as one, their strikes weaving together. His blade cut where her claws opened weakness, her wings shielded where his defense faltered. But the shadow was powerful. Its claw struck Tom, hurling him across the ground. Pain exploded through his chest. Vera cried out, the same pain burning her ribs through the bond. She staggered, almost falling. Tom forced himself up, coughing, his vision blurred. The shadow loomed over Vera, ready to strike. Not again, Tom growled. He surged forward, every muscle screaming, his blade glowing brighter than before. The bond roared inside him, fire and blood and light. He leapt high, swinging with all his strength. His blade pierced the shadow's chest. At the same instant, Vera's claws tore through its heart. Their strikes met as one. The shadow screamed, its body bursting into shards of darkness. The plane of stars shook, then calmed. Silence fell. The guardian appeared again, golden eyes blazing. You have faced your doubt. You have spoken your truth. The bond is real. The choice is made. You are worthy. The stars faded. The chamber returned. Tom and Vera stood side by side, still holding each other's hands. The guardian's form began to fade, its voice softer now. Together you will walk a path unknown. Human and vampire, bound as one. The child you carry will be more than either race. Protect it, and you may yet bring rebirth. Fail, and you bring ruin. Choose wisely. Then the guardian vanished, leaving only silence. Tom let out a long breath, lowering his blade. His body trembled, but his heart felt strangely steady. He looked at Vera, who was watching him with unreadable eyes. So, he said quietly. Looks like we passed. Vera gave a small smile. Yes. And now there is no turning back. Tom ran a hand through his hair. I guess that means, we really are bound. Husband and wife, like you said. Her smile widened, just slightly. Do not look so troubled, Tom. You chose it. And so did I. For a moment, neither spoke. The weight of the future pressed on them both, but so did a new sense of strength. Tom looked out toward the broken wall, at the alien sky beyond. For the first time since he arrived, it did not look strange. It looked like a place he might one day call home. He turned back to Vera. All right. Then let's face it together. Whatever comes next. Vera stepped closer, her wings brushing against him, her hand finding his again. Her voice was soft, but certain. Together. And so the human and the alien vampire, bound by blood and choice, stood as one beneath the twin moons. Their bond was no longer a chain but a vow. And in the vast silence of the universe, they walked forward into a future neither could face alone.